All right, quick headlines now. Look out. A boat oar piercing through a windshield of an SUV as the driver ducks out of the way. Police in Florida say it probably flew off the RV. The driver's quick reaction likely saved his life. I would think so. And sorry, kids, say so long to seesaws. Apparently, the federal government thinks something like this can happen.
On three.
That didn't really happen. I think it was a cutaway. It's one of those film tricks. Strict federal safety guidelines forcing parks and schools around the country to phase out the seesaw so kids stay on the ground. I've got to get out of here.
Seesaw. It's the best part of the park.
Regulation Nation, folks.
Well, we're ending the year now, almost at least, and it's a good time for us all to talk about get our financial house in order. So how do you do it?
Well, let's talk to that guy right there. Ainsley, the best-selling author of Retire Inspired, financial expert Chris Hogan joins us right now with answers to your burning emailed-in money questions. Chris, good morning to you. Thanks for joining us from Nashville.
Good morning.
The best voice. Okay, Chris, we're going to read you Meredith's email. She lives in Georgia. She lives close to you. She says, my sister and her husband don't have money to buy Christmas gifts for their 4 kids. I want to help without enabling them. How can I do this without harming our family dynamic? What do you say?
Well, Meredith, I would suggest that you sit down with your sister and just have a conversation. Make sure that she's comfortable with you doing this. Now, if she's not comfortable, you need to respect the boundaries. If she is, then that's great. But I would make sure to emphasize this is a gift and not a loan.
That's a good way to point out. So you're saying go ahead and give her the money so she can buy presents for her kids.
Yeah, it's a great gesture. I mean, it's good to be generous. And now, if this sister wasn't particularly good with money, maybe you could find out some gift ideas for the kids, go buy the toys, and then give it to the sister.
And it's not enabling the sister because it's giving the kids gifts.
Sure.
So it's helping them to celebrate the holiday.
It's a win-win. All right. Meanwhile, from North Carolina, Thomas wrote in. He said, I'm getting a $15,000 holiday bonus.
All right.
But I owe $18,000 in student loans and $24,000 to a family member, which I am paying back at 3% interest over 15 years. That seems like a lot.
Wow.
Should I use the bonus toward my student loans or the family loan? All right, Chris, what should he do?
Well, Thomas, first of all, I want to congratulate you that you're being intentional with this holiday bonus.
Yep.
Now, if I'm in your shoes, I would definitely attack the student loan first because it's only $18,000. So if you pay $15,000 toward it, that's only going to leave you $3,000 left over. And if you take on an extra job, Thomas, you could have this student loan. You could get Sally Mae out of your life for good. Now, the caveat to this is if this family loan is a low pressure situation, then that's great. If your family's giving you grief about this, then maybe you would look at paying on the family loan first.
But in general, you guys always talk about Dave Ramsey's show, and I know you work for Dave. Y'all always talk about tackling the smaller loan first so that you can get that out of the way, right?
That's exactly right. Tackling the smallest debt first, what it does is it helps us build momentum. Getting out of debt has nothing to do with math or interest rates. It's about making progress. So always attack the smallest one first.
I love the fact that a family member is given a 3% loan. That's a good deal. I was being funny earlier. All right, out in California, Jane says this. My husband and I are both 63. He doesn't think we should put money into a 401k for only 4 years when he plans to retire. What do you think?
That's a good question.
Chris?
Well, Jane, you know, this is a topic that I'm very passionate about. I want to help people live their retirement dream. So what I would do is definitely look at the 401k. It's never too late to start saving. I talk to a lot of people on my podcast, and they say, Chris, is it too late? No, it's not too late. Especially with your age, there are some catch-up provisions that allow you to put in more than just the basic minimums. So sit down with an investment professional, walk through this, and understand all of your options. And you can do this. And you and your husband stick to a plan, get intentional, and stay focused.
You can do it.
And on Chris's website, you can go there and get your RIQ, your retirement IQ, and find out how much money you need to be putting in your 401k to survive and to live on when you do retire. It's awesome. It's easy. You put in a few numbers.
As much as you can. All right, and the final email.
This is from Keith in Pennsylvania. He says, my wife would like to be a stay-at-home mom. We are debt-free except for the house with a fully funded emergency fund and about $200,000 in our retirement savings. Should my wife work longer to save more money, or can she quit now? What do you think?
Well, Keith, first I want to congratulate you. You have done a phenomenal job paying off the home, having a good amount put away for retirement savings. What I would do is you and your wife need to sit down and really look at where you are financially. Can you afford to live on one income? Maybe you even practice that now before she stops working outside of the home. The key to this is going to be having a budget, understanding your expenses, and maybe making some lifestyle adjustments, cutting back on some things to create that margin so you all can live the kind of life that you want to live.
Right, and it sounds like the plan is to stay at home mom, so maybe that will come true in the coming year.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Great to see you, our friend.
Well, thank you all.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
There you go. Yes, sir.
Each Christmas, every grave in Arlington gets a wreath. This year, that tradition is at risk. But this morning, there is a huge update for you, thanks to you, the Fox and Friends viewers.
All right, they honor our heroes, our veterans, one wreath at a time. Wreaths across America, placing tens of thousands of wreaths at graves at Arlington National Cemetery, this for Christmas. But this year, that tradition was at risk because the organization did not have enough donations.
We have been following their progress for the last couple of weeks, as you know, and this morning we have a big update.
We do. Joining us once again this week is Bree Kingsbury. She's a volunteer and fundraiser with Wreaths Across America. She joins us today from Virginia Beach.
And her husband was a Navy SEAL.
Absolutely. Thanks for his service. Bree, good morning to you. Let's go back on December 1st. You needed 110,000 wreaths. Then you came on the show last week when you needed how many more wreaths?
At that time, I believe we needed about 30,000, and your viewers responded in a very big way. Big way.
We told you they would, Bree. We told you they would.
There was no doubt.
They're amazing. So what happened?
Well, with a grateful heart, we are very excited to announce that we have received enough donations for every veteran's grave at Arlington National Cemetery to receive a wreath this year.
Fantastic. When you heard the news, what'd you think?
Well, this cause is so near and dear to my heart that anytime, we hear good news like this, I basically cry, and, and if I wouldn't completely embarrass myself in the studio right now, I would probably do a few cartwheels, but I won't do that to your viewers.
And Bree, what is the process of putting them out like?
Oh, it's kind of like a mixture of, Memorial Day, 4th of July, and Christmas. It's a time for us to pay our respects, to honor our service members, to pay their sacrifice, with the utmost respect. And we really believe that the best way to honor the sacrifice of our fallen service members is to take care of the families they left behind. And this is a very tangible way for, tens of thousands of Americans to come together on that one day to do just that.
I know you're putting them out on Saturday. Is for the folks that are in that area, can they come out and help?
Absolutely. We start, early that Saturday morning, and it's a free event open to the public. It's a very family-friendly event. So if you're in the Washington, D.C. Area, come on out to Arlington Cemetery. Or we also have locations, 1,200 other locations throughout the country. So visit the website to see if there's a location near you.
And what types of people come out?
I'm sorry?
What types of people come out to help you?
Oh, we have, Arlington National Cemetery and the National Wreaths Across America Day is the one day where, it doesn't matter your race, religion, sex. That day we are all Americans. We are all Americans. Thank you to our service members and to the Gold Star families.
Well, thank you very much. You've made it sure that every service member's grave at Arlington is going to have a wreath, and you're going to start that process very shortly. But as you mentioned a moment ago, there are cemeteries all across the country you're also going to be visiting. Do you have enough money to put wreaths on all those graves?
Unfortunately, we do not for those. So, if people would like to donate, there's still time, still time to donate to those other smaller cemeteries. And, hopefully next year, we can focus a little bit more on that because, regardless of where a veteran is buried, they deserve to be remembered at the holidays. Yeah. So I just really want to thank your viewers. Fox and Friends, you all have been phenomenal. Fox News has stepped up. Anytime that that we've had a need, you all have stepped up in a big, big way, and we truly appreciate it, and it's not gone unnoticed. We really appreciate you.
It's a message we love to share. Bree, thank you. No soldier, no hero is going left behind on this holiday season because of you and your efforts and our viewers.
All right. Thanks, Bree.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas. Football legend Jim Brown took one of those golden elevators to the top of Trump Tower, says that he fell in love there. He joins us live.
Donald Trump is your next president of the United States. Because of you. Together we're going to make Washington answer to the people once again. We're going to win a lot. We're going to win so much, you're going to go to Paul Ryan, you're going to go, Mr. Speaker, please, please, we can't stand winning this much. We can't take it. We're going to work so hard for you. If you don't mind, we won't be totally politically correct. If you don't mind, okay? Is that all right? And we're going to cut your taxes, and we're going to have strong borders, and we're going to have the wall, and we're going to build up our military, big league, and we're going to take care of those vets. We are never, ever going to let you down. God bless you. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. God bless you. Thank you, Wisconsin. Thank you. Thank you.
I remember John Roberts said that I cannot listen to the Rolling Stones again after following around Donald Trump for 18 months. And every thank you tour moment ends with a Rolling Stones song.
That's good. The message last night, though, was very, very clear. It said right there, Merry Christmas, USA. Donald Trump got his Christmas present about a month early from Christmas when he was elected president of the United States. And the good news for him was after that dopey recount, he actually wound up with a larger margin. He noted last night that thanks to the Jill Stein recount, he wound up with 131 more votes than he did on election night. He was a happy man with good manners because he came back to say thank you, Wisconsin, for making it all happen.
That's exactly right. So President Obama on his holiday card, it says, or Christmas card, it says Happy Holidays. And he's saying, I'm putting Merry Christmas back in the holiday season. So it's right there on the podium. Merry Christmas and thank you, Wisconsin.
But I will say this, and Donald Trump, I'm sure, is not focusing too much on it, but what the Democrats are trying to do with trying to flip these electors, the actual electors that were just supposed to show up December 19th and just vote the way your state told you to, what they're trying to do with this Russian thing and looking into that is flat out devious and destructive.
Donald Trump's message to those folks is, you lost, too bad, I won, and I'm going to continue to win. Listen.
Would anybody like to keep it the way it is? I don't think. We're going to win. We're going to win. We're going to win a lot. We're going to win so much, you're going to go to Paul Ryan, you're going to go, Mr. Speaker, please, please, we can't stand winning this much. We can't take it. And he's going to come to see me and he's going to, Mr. President, the people in Wisconsin are tired of winning so much. You're winning with health care. We're winning on the border. We're winning with ISIS because we are going to get ISIS out. We're winning all over, Mr. President. They just can't take it anymore. I say, Paul, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You have to go back and tell them we're going to keep winning and winning and winning, whether they like it or not.
Now, it's only 8:03 in the East, so I have not looked online, but I'm wondering if there is outrage that the president-elect was behind a podium that said Merry Christmas on it, with Christmas trees behind him, a whole forest of them.
I think we won the war on terror. I mean, the war on Christmas already.
So I don't know, Brian, it's alive and well in certain quarters.
No, they're taking the cross down off the trees in Indiana.
One tree is free. We have the whole
we did a segment
every tree. I know. Well, listen.
That's just the story today. Every day we have a different city.
The war on Christmas. The Christmas won. And it's the after-school special that came true. The war on Christmas is over.
I think Donald Trump's message has been, the culture has been heading in a direction he wasn't comfortable with.
It's the PC culture,
and a lot of people aren't. And so he's look, So some people say Happy Holidays. Some people say Merry Christmas, Donald Trump. And the Trumps are a family that say Merry Christmas. And so he's going to, he's not going to stop.
Sometimes you say Happy Holidays because you don't know if somebody's Jewish or Catholic.
Or you might be trying to include New Year's. You know, that area between Christmas and New Year's, just say Happy Holidays.
I think the point is, say whatever you want to say, but don't be afraid. Upset if someone is saying Merry Christmas, and don't be afraid.
Or you know what? If it's Christmas season, high five somebody. Meanwhile, when you talk, when they had their thank you tour in Wisconsin yesterday, it was time for Republicans to come together, and clearly they have, especially in Wisconsin. In attendance, Congressman Duffy, Senator Ron Johnson, Reince Priebus, and a guy named Paul Ryan, who had some famous friction with Donald Trump.
How about it, huh?
All right, so Donald Trump, are we going to hear his?
Yep.
Okay, sorry.
Any second.
Oh, no, I've come to appreciate him. Speaker Paul Ryan. Where's Speaker? Where is he? He has been, I'll tell you, he has been terrific. And, you know, honestly, he's like a fine wine. Every day goes by, I get to appreciate his genius more and more. Now, if he ever goes against me, I'm not going to say that, okay? He's a great guy, and we have some amazing things in store. And we're going to work on taxes. We're going to work on Obamacare. We're going to work on things, and he's going to lead the way. So thank you. We're going to work on the wall, Paul.
Yeah, because Paul has been very clear. He's not for the wall at this point. He's for securing the border. Look, they had a terrible relationship before the election, just as he did with Mitt Romney. But in the name of unity, they have all come together. And now, with particularly Speaker Ryan, they got to go to Washington and get stuff done.
I think they need each other. I think Donald Trump needs him to help him repeal and replace Obamacare, because he knows everything about Obamacare and he likes his plan. And I think that Paul Ryan needs Donald Trump, because he needs to help him restore his reputation, because a lot of people are angry with him.
But sadly, the Republicans do not have a plan ready to go as of yet, although Congressman Tom Price is using it, is trying to get it done. Meanwhile, Governor Rick Perry's got some good news a little while ago. He probably knew it ahead of time. He'll be the next Secretary of Energy nominee if he passes the muster. And Congressman Ryan Zinke, the 23-year veteran of the Navy SEALs, will be the Interior Secretary, leaving his post as Congressman from Montana.
That's right. Of course, the big announcement yesterday was, despite the fact that first we thought it was going to be Rudy, then we thought it was going to be Mitt. Ultimately, the biggest job in the cabinet, Secretary of State, is going to go to the CEO of ExxonMobil, Rex Tillerson, who actually will take a gigantic pay cut. He will be making 1/145th of what he was at ExxonMobil. And Donald Trump last night at the Thank You America tour out in West Allis had these comments about that man who he thinks is a world-class deal maker.
Rex is one of the greatest and most skilled global business leaders of our time. Made some of the greatest deals ever made in the oil industry or any industry. A great diplomat, a strong man, a tough man. And honestly, they've never seen a resume like this before. We're going to have somebody that's going to be very special.
So Bob Gates, who recommended him first to Donald Trump reportedly, called him a hard-nosed realist, and he's a consultant for Exxon with his company. Condoleezza Rice had brought him up, Gates is, but Condoleezza Rice had brought him up the day before to Vice President nominee Pence. In the past, he's been on a think tank with Zbigniew Brzezinski and Henry Kissinger. He has impressed Bob Corker, who's the chairman of Foreign Relations, who'll be grilling him. However, not won over yet is Senator McCain. Not won over yet is Marco Rubio, and he can't afford in committee to lose anybody.
We interviewed Robert Charles, who's a past Assistant Secretary of State under George W., and he made a good point. He was talking about the relationship that he's had with other heads of states and with Russia for the last 20 years, that you need that relationship in order to sit down, and trust is most important. Listen to what else he had to say.
Diplomacy ultimately boils down to trust, and I think he has proven over decades that he is a trusted entity all over the world. You know, it's very easy to imagine that anybody could do that job, but it's a job that requires being able to go one-on-one with somebody, look them in the eye, and get to an agreement on an outcome. And what has he done for several decades? He has been generating outcomes, not just pushing paper, not a Johnny-come-lately diplomat. He is somebody who has walked the walk. So net, I think he's going to be a great manager at the State Department. I think he knows these cultures, and I think it was actually a brilliant out-of-the-box choice.
And for those who think that he's anti-climate change, he has supported a carbon tax in the past.
Meanwhile, Donald Trump said last night as well, he said it's good that they've got somebody as our top tip who we foreign ministers and stuff like that, who he's done deals with as the head guy at Exxon.
That's right. Worked his way up from the engineer all the way up to the CEO.
Pays off. Hard work.
That's right. Heather has some headlines, more headlines for us this morning. Hey, Heather.
I do. Breaking news right now, so let me get right to that. Dangerous pool chemicals filling the air, forcing thousands of people to stay inside their homes. A semi-truck carrying toxic material crashed just a short time ago and burst into flames. The fumes posing serious health hazards to people in Murfreesboro, that's in central Tennessee. The freeway is now shut down and nearby neighborhoods are on mandatory lockdown. We're told that semi-driver is okay, but we will keep watching this breaking story and bring you any new information on that. Another Fox News alert right now, this one coming in from overseas. ISIS terrorists buying an arsenal of military-grade weapons on what's being described as an industrial scale. The alarming new report out of the UK says that extremists are now manufacturing and stocking explosives, rockets, and drones in bulk. Now, the majority of these chemicals and materials are coming from factories in Turkey. The new report also says that ISIS is producing ammunition at an unprecedented rate. We'll keep watching that one. Like Donald Trump.
Do you think Trump's going to build a wall? Trust me, we're going to build a wall.
Well, it turns out that France already has one. Take a look at this thing. It is a brand new 13-foot high concrete wall built along a highway in northern France. It's all to stop migrants from jumping on trucks that are headed to England. And guess who pays for this? The UK, even though it's in France. Okay, well, heartbreak and shock rocking Hollywood this morning. The actor Alan Thicke, best known as the iconic dad on the 1980s sitcom Growing Pains, has died. While he was playing hockey with his 19-year-old son. In addition to acting, Thicke is also remembered as an accomplished songwriter and composer. Among his work, the theme songs for Different Strokes and The Facts of Life. His son Robin taking to Instagram this morning, calling him the greatest man I ever met. Alan Thicke was just 69 years old, and those are your headlines. We are so sorry to see him go. So many of us grew up with him, and you spent time with him as well.
I don't want things to change, you know? I mean, gosh, after losing my grandparents, now, I just want things to stay the same, because that's so sad.
Yeah.
We did grow up with him.
He was a great sitcom dad and a good friend of the programs as well. And here's an interesting bit of trivia. Next time you watch Wheel of Fortune, he actually wrote the original theme song to Wheel of Fortune.
Did he really?
He did.
The song that they're still using?
Nope, the original.
Okay.
Well, when Chuck Woolery was the host.
Back in the
meanwhile,
olden days.
12 minutes after the hour, Wisconsin Congressman Sean Duffy joined the president-elect on his thank you tour last night.
I promise you, we will not let you down. We won't let you down.
Next, the congressman and his wife Rachel will join us live, unless they let us down.
Hey, there they are. And how did John Podesta's emails get hacked? Turns out it was just one typo from people at the campaign.
We are going to work our hearts out to make sure that we keep that promise that Donald Trump has said so often. That make this great.
Feed Trump on his thank you tour last night, celebrating those Rust Belt voters who voted Republican for the first time in nearly 30 years in Wisconsin. And the congressman joins us right now, along with his wife, Fox News contributor Rachel Campos Duffy. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning, Steve.
You know, that was quite a show he put on. I mentioned earlier, I would like to see one of these shows every night of the week, different times of the day, so that it doesn't just interrupt O'Reilly all the time. But what's extraordinary is the number of people who showed up. It was 10 degrees yesterday in your home state, and yet thousands were there, weren't they, Congressman?
Yeah, so Steve, I mean, it was 10 degrees, and people waited in line for hours in this freezing weather just to get in to see Donald Trump. I know your viewers might think that only happens for the Green Bay Packers, but it also happens for Donald Trump. And listen, it's been 32 years since Wisconsin voted for a Republican presidential candidate. And so there was a lot of energy and excitement to see Donald Trump come in and just say, you know what, thank you, and I appreciate your vote and your support, and I'm going to work for you.
Yeah, he not only said thank you, he said Merry Christmas. And Rachel, as we look at him, there he was on the front of the podium. It said Merry Christmas USA, and then behind him he had a whole forest of Christmas trees, which you think is an important message.
I think it was a great message. It actually, the stage kind of reminded me of a USO show with Bob Hope. I mean, it was like we residential sick of our national identity and our traditions. And so I think that really struck a crowd. And when he said Merry Christmas, the crowd went positively wild.
That's great. We saw it on TV. Congressman, it was very clear the president-elect had nothing to say but praise for the Republicans there in Wisconsin, and it was good to see him and Paul Ryan embracing each other because, 5 weeks ago, I think both of them wanted to kill each other.
Both of the claws had come out on both sides on the two teams, but you know what? It was because of the work of Paul Ryan and Ron Johnson and Scott Walker and the work we did here in our part of the state that actually helped Donald Trump get 22,000 extra votes and beat Hillary Clinton in our great state. And I thought what was unique on the stage last night was that Donald Trump was truly genuine in his affection and friendship with Paul Ryan. And that friendship and that trust is going to be so important for both sides, the White House and the Congress, to work together to get the policy right so we make America so sick of winning they can't stand it anymore. And it's those two leaders that are going to be working together, helping make sure we take out those rough edges around the policy that we get this great agreement.
And Steve, I would say people wondered whether, there was a lot of speculation, would they ever be able to come together? And if you know Paul Ryan, like we know Paul Ryan, we had no doubt that this was going to happen, because if you know Paul Ryan, you like him and you're really impressed with how smart he is and how much he wants to get done. So there was just a real clear sign of unity in Wisconsin.
Well, he's a fine wine.
Right. That's important because Trump wants to get a lot done, and he needs the speaker. All right, our speakers right now, Representative Sean Duffy and Rachel Campos Duffy, joining us from Wausau.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you as well. Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
All right. It's 20 minutes now after the top of the hour. You've probably seen this commercial, but does it really work? Ainsley is live with a very special guest, her little girl, Hayden, to put that to the test. All right, time for some quick headlines on this Wednesday morning. First up, Jill Stein's crusade to expose voter injustice has backfired once again. The Green Party candidate just blew the lid off major ballot box fraud in the city of Detroit, where Hillary Clinton won big. Election officials uncovering more votes than voters in a third of the city's precincts. How do you do that? And a typo may actually have led to John Podesta's emails getting hacked. New York Times reporting a Clinton aide warned Podesta and others about a phishing scam in March, writing, quote, "This is a legitimate email. John needs to change his password immediately." Well, the writer meant, instead of legitimate, to use the word illegitimate. Podesta clicked it and exposed his Gmail account, and then it just went all haywire. All right, Ainsley, Brian, over to you.
Thank you, Steve. All week we are putting those famous as seen on TV products to the test, like this one.
Are you tired of slicing and dicing by hand and bulky slicers that clutter your countertop? Stop! Introducing 1 Second Slicer, the amazing food preparation station that slices, dices, chops, minces, and juliennes.
I love the woman sweating just because she had to use her knife. No, we want to know, does the 1 second slicer really work?
Well, here to help us put it to the test is lifestyle expert and eBay style contributor Anna D'Souza. Hey, Anna.
Hey. Everyone in those infomercials always look like they're having the toughest life.
Right, in black and white. But then it's good when it gets in color and the music goes on.
Then everything's great.
Right.
Okay. I'm a sucker for a gadget, too. So let's put this to the test in real time right now. Okay. So this is a 1 second slicer. So I want you to start. We're going to go from easiest to hardest. shortest.
Okay,
so
Brian.
go ahead. The thing about, okay, so technically speaking, the 1 second slicer does slice in a second, but you have to do a ton of prep work in order for it to then
Oh, I'd have to take
no
the
one
skin
has
off,
time
right?
to do that.
No, you can cut it actually into a 3-inch piece. Now actually you're good. Look
Really?
at this. Okay, so what you're gonna do now is put the cucumber right there. No, the smaller one. See, this is why it gets tricky.
Fit in the square.
Now you go ahead, press it down. And
right.
it dices for you. I know.
I am so sweaty.
So then what you can
Look
do
at that.
is you can go ahead
I've diced.
and you can dice it. And it does
Right,
save
I
time.
could talk on the phone, I could talk to others, I can listen to the television.
It works. Sure can. Okay, so carrot, you could do a carrot.
So
go ahead.
So
the
bottom
cucumbers-
line is, I'm getting you're impressed with this.
So I like it because it also gives you the little uniform, it gives you uniform pieces, right? So when you cook, it's going to cook evenly, which I really love. The one trick too to think about, so in under for you.
Right, why don't we
so
just
we can
stuck to
try,
that one?
we can do so many. So what I love about this too is that it does give you different attachments. So you can do potatoes, you can do different types of slices.
Watch your
It doesn't
fingers.
necessarily mince, guys, just to tell you.
Let's see. Oh, whoa, that is sharp.
It is sharp. Be
blades
very
are sharp.
careful.
All right, and there you go. So this is a
I like
big
this.
thumbs up, am I correct?
So you can get it.
All right, let's move on.
Steve's wife, Kathy, has one of these, and she says she loves it. Right? She loves it.
It's a good one.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so this next one here is called the Easy Peasy Happy Mat. And the premise here is that it's going to make mealtime less messy. Now, it's made out of silicone. It's a silicone placemat. Try to lift it. The issue when you...
Okay.
Okay, well, here.
As seen on TV.
It's hard to lift if you're lifting as a child
Right.
from the bottom.
I have the strength of 10 men, so I'm not a good person.
So you put it in front of the child.
You could put it right in front, right with a high chair.
This is my
and
daughter,
the idea
and she's
is
loving it. She
She's
hasn't
beautiful.
moved it. Thank
The idea is they're not going to be able to put the bowl on their head, throw the bowl.
I can't believe. I can't believe the size.
Does she like it?
She loves Christmas trees.
Well, so this isn't a modeled baby. This is your baby.
She should be, right?
Absolutely, she's beautiful. This is your daughter brought in for an as seen on TV spot.
And look, it works. She's eating her pop cereal,
and it's not coming off.
And it's not coming off.
So I read some reviews, and you can't let your child see how you actually lift it, because you have to lift it
Once
from the
they
edges.
they'll try it.
Once
Okay.
they see it,
Once they see it, right.
shield her eyes. If she
Right.
sees it, then she'll know.
Okay.
They're going to know how to pick it up.
All right, so don't let them see. Don't let them see.
You have to do it all in hiding.
Right. I love this.
Wait a minute. Let me see how smart my kid is. Let her see
All
and
right,
see if she does it.
Watch this, Hayden. I'm an adult, and I'm going to take this up because I keep it. Hayden.
Hayden, look at Brian.
Look at me.
Hayden, look.
Hayden, look,
Hayden,
look,
look at Brian.
Look what I'm doing. I am so smart. You don't want to try that, do you?
Hayden.
Good.
Hayden,
No
show them.
problem.
Hayden, show them.
Right. Look at this. Look at this, Hayden. She saw. I can't believe it.
She's so smart.
There you go. All right.
Oh, isn't she the cutest?
She now has to go join AFTRA. Right.
Mealtime is always going to be
Right.
She was
It doesn't
doing
matter.
it earlier.
All right.
She was doing
Listen,
it earlier.
2 thumbs up. These are great Christmas presents. I'm all for it.
All right,
Mila,
tomorrow.
thank you very much.
Guess what we're doing tomorrow? Tomorrow we're doing the My Pillow. Everyone asked me about
I
the
have
My
not
Pillow.
seen that commercial. This is going to be exciting.
You know what commercial we're talking about. That's going to be tomorrow, so that's going to be great.
All right, me coming up next. The big serious shade at President-elect. I love using that
love
term. It's
saying
so
that.
natural. LeBron James, what he's doing in this picture tells a big story. And football legend Jim Brown took one of those golden elevators to the top of the tower yesterday. He says he fell in love with Mr. Trump. He joins us next to tell us what...
That's right, Trump met with Kanye West at Trump Tower and even posed for photos in the lobby. That's a photo, yeah. Can we see that again? Yeah. They're calling it When Cheesy Met Yeezy. And you go, well, that's not, why would they...
Funny stuff. Didn't the Kardashians support Donald Trump?
I
think so.
don't know. I bet Kris Jenner did.
Yeah.
'Cause I know she's conservative, or at least in her religious views.
All right.
I'm not sure. I don't know.
All right. Meanwhile, President-elect Donald Trump rolling up his sleeves to create thousands of jobs for the American worker.
He's got some already. The IBM boss who walked in and said, I already promised thousands of jobs on the eve of the major meeting with tech bosses at Trump Tower this afternoon.
Well, just named Fox & Friends Weekend co-host Abby Huntsman. Congratulations, by the way. Has the details.
Thanks, you guys.
We'll celebrate that in a minute.
We will celebrate. But first to this story, we are just hours away from Mr. Trump hosting 12 of the top tech CEOs in the world to talk about how to bring back jobs to America's Rust Belt. But one of those companies, IBM, already jumping the gun, pledging to add 25,000, quote, new-collar jobs nationwide over the next 4 years. The company will also invest $1 billion in training and development. And at a victory rally yesterday in Wisconsin, Mr. Trump doubling down on his commitment to American workers. Listen.
We want to use all of the brain power because we're going to bring us back. We're going to be not only great, we're going to be greater than ever before. You watch. You watch. And tomorrow, coming up to the office, the true giants of Silicon Valley. We're going to talk about how to grow jobs. We're going to talk about how they can stay on top.
Well, today's meeting features an all-star cast of CEOs, including Elon Musk of SpaceX, Apple's Tim Cook, Jeff Bezos of Amazon, Sheryl Sandberg of Facebook, and Safra Catz of Oracle. But other companies like Google, Intel, and Microsoft will also be there to hear Mr. Trump's pitch to keep jobs, of course, right here in the United States. So an all-star cast, really. I would love to be flying that wall.
Yeah, lots of CEOs.
So I bet Trump has got a blank piece of paper and he's going to write down at the top, okay, 25,000 from IBM. Tim Cook over at Apple, how many from you? I bet before it's all done.
If you're fired.
Apple was already talking about bringing jobs back, but they always said I remember Steve Jobs said there's not enough engineers here. I need to bring it over there, so you see what happens.
Well, it's interesting because the guy from SoftBank in Japan, when he held up that thing, also held up a PowerPoint presentation that had Foxconn on it, which is a company that makes Apple phones. So maybe there's going to be a deal.
So. You know, people of all walks of life have been walking into Trump Tower. Really, it's been fun to see people from both sides of the political aisle, from every industry out there, wanting to take the meeting.
Well, we are glad you walked through the doors of Fox News. Congratulations on getting the weekend job.
It's such a great family. You know, when I'm out on the road doing the diners and whatnot, people always ask, what is the family like at Fox & Friends off camera?
What do you say?
And honestly, you guys are just as nice, just as wonderful off camera, so I could not be more excited to officially join the crew. It really is a special place to be, so I'm humbled.
Talk about nice. So is Heather Nauert.
She is.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
We're so happy,
Good job, Abby.
Yeah, we're so happy to have Abby officially on board with this morning crew. Good morning to all of you. Hope you're off to a great day. Pardon me. I have some news stories to bring you, starting with a serious one. Chilling new police body cam video shows the moment that 2 Georgia police officers are shot. Those officers caught off guard as the suspect opens fire during a traffic stop. Watch this.
Shots fired! Dispatch, shots fired!
22-year-old officer Jeffrey Martin was hit in the hand, and 50-year-old Michael Schulman was shot under the arm. Both men are expected to be okay. The suspect, Kari Gordon, now behind bars. It's been a violent week for police officers in that state. 6 Georgia officers have been shot in the past week alone. A shocking discovery underground. Down that ladder is a massive tunnel crossing the Mexican border and into California. That tunnel stretching from Tijuana to San Diego. It's about 20 miles long. It has lights, rails, and also an elevator. Mexican police say the Sinaloa cartel, run by El Chapo, used it to smuggle drugs into the United States. A second tunnel, which is unfinished, was also found. We've seen that one before. And sorry, ladies, a star from HGTV's Property Brothers is at the market now.
Very well. You're that far ahead. Just show you this garage.
Drew Scott is set to tie the knot with his longtime girlfriend, Linda Fan, the home improvement guru, popping the question while out to dinner in Toronto. Scott then whisked his fiancée off to a surprise engagement party with their closest family and friends. Best wishes to you. We'll see you soon. Brian, let's head over to you.
All right, retired superstar Jim Brown and Ray Lewis joining the list of high-profile guests at Trump Tower. The former football champs met Mr. Trump, the president-elect, to discuss solutions for many black communities. So how did it go? Former Cleveland Browns running back, Hall of Famer Jim Brown, a longtime activist, founder of American. So, Jim, great to see you again.
Good to see you, Brian.
In case you don't know, Jim and I were hosting a radio show back in 1990 for about 4 years, and it was great. And I all knew right right back then. It was so much more than sports with you. Everyone knows that. What was it like meeting Donald Trump? What did you expect? What did you find?
It was really not surprising because his characterization of things are so broad, and but he was a nice man, and he was knowledgeable, and he gave me great respect. And I was so encouraged because, you know, his aides, they get what I do, and they've done their research, so it was really like talking to myself.
You feel, you know a lot of people that say they want to help, but you left that meeting thinking that they are ready to help and go into action. Why?
Because of the knowledge they had of who I am. Most people think I just play football. They understood American like you understand American.
The American program.
That's right. And they know that my big joy in life is to help people to make a difference in this country and not to just talk about it. And so they had done the research, which means that the program that exists won't have to be duplicated. We have a program, they get behind it. I get all of my celebrity friends and my little gangsters in the neighborhood.
And you mean it? These are former gangsters.
Yeah, you know, top and the bottom. And the business world, you know, led by Bruce Olin and Ohio, Eddie DeBartolo. It's a great combination of people that we're putting together to help out the situation. And the concentration will be to eliminate violence, because there are young black kids getting killed every day. Homicide rate is unreal. Nobody's talking about it. And then the education. But specifically the life management education, those life skills that are the fundamentals that a person needs to know how to continue and become successful.
And Jim Stanley, you're talking about things people get from families a lot of times. From the traditional families, you get a lot of them, but that's not the case in a lot of these inner city situations. So you're looking at situations the way they are, not the way you want them to be, and you're trying to fix it. And it's more than just money. You need a program. Do you think that he's going to put the money behind your program to make it truly national and fully fund it in a way that's going to make a massive impact?
I think so.
Why?
Because we have probably the best program in the country. And we have many years to point to. And we have many like-minded people that's behind it. So it's not like something new, something you have to like research. All of that has been done. If the government steps in at this particular time and support the private sector that we have, it'll be dynamite.
Right. And helping people, help other people. It's more than just money. Oh, yeah. I've known that for a while. You got to look up the American program and support it. It's unbelievable the impact you've made. And I want to talk to you more about this on radio. Okay, Jim?
Absolutely.
All right.
Good to see you, Brian.
Still making a huge impact. Thanks so much, Jim.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, coming up straight ahead, another big problem. The VA raiding their medical facilities in secret. And this morning, the head of the VA is defending that. Really? Army veteran Pete Hegseth up for that job, and he's near next.
Robert McDonald does not think you or me or anybody would understand his department's internal review of America's medical centers.
In a letter to the USA Today, he said, to be clear, no VA medical facility is bad or failing. This internal process keeps VA from the everyone gets a blue ribbon syndrome. It may be counterintuitive to the uninformed, but it works. The great stay... Great, the good, am I reading this right?
Yeah.
Wait,
well,
the great stay great. Oh, the good get better. Got it.
So, does his defense of secrecy make any sense? Army vet and Fox News contributor Pete Hegseth joins us live. Pete, so what's going on is apparently, and unbeknownst to all of us, the VA had this rating system that tells you whether or not a facility stinks.
Correct.
And apparently there are a bunch of them that stink.
Yes.
And they don't want to tell us which ones.
And they don't want to reveal that to the American people. So it looks like a serious, it looks like they're trying to do the right thing by vets. In reality, what they've got is a secret rating system that they're not, what do I got on my neck?
No,
something?
you're fine. I got it.
Oh, good. Thank you. You're always squaring me away.
Sorry.
A secret rating system of veterans and hospitals that reveals that a lot of them are still one-star facilities.
Right.
Our veterans should not be going to one-star facilities.
No.
And our veterans don't get to see this rating system, so they don't know if they're going to a good facility or not.
Why wouldn't they want transparency so that we can fix the problem?
Because this rating system is built for bureaucrats. It's built for the VA to protect itself. It says that not everyone gets a blue ribbon. In fact, everyone does get a blue ribbon in this system because no one knows how bad it is.
Right.
And the veterans are left wondering whether they're going to a good facility. If you look at the VA differently by putting the vet at the center, then you make everything transparent. And you say, here's how long you're going to wait. Right. Here's how good your facility is. Here's whether we have a doctor shortage, because it's our job to serve you, not the other way around.
You think they're just scared because they don't want the vets to be in an uproar when they find out their hospital or their facility?
They were trying to protect. It's cover your rear end.
Right. Who's going to go to a 1-star when you drive 50 miles and you might be able to go to a 2 or a 3-star?
That's right. That's the point, though. If you're stuck at a 1-star, then you should have a choice to go to a private facility right next door to that VA facility. But that's what the VA doesn't want you to have.
All right, so going forward, what do we need to see? Because Donald Trump's the new president-elect.
Yep.
He says he's going to be transparent. He's going to put everything on the table so that we're all informed and then fix the problem. What needs to be done?
Well, the first thing you need to do is, in my humble opinion, not keep Bob McDonald, because he's been covering up for a long time and not being willing to be open and transparent about the failures of this department. Then you need to give veterans a choice. You need to fire a whole lot of people who have been part of this cover-up, and then you need to make sure you investigate top to bottom where these problems have come from.
You know, when the VA system was started, it was because people came back from war with unique injuries that the local guy couldn't take care of. That doesn't exist anymore, with the exception of like TBI and some specialized injuries. Isn't it time just to forget about the VA hospitals and give everybody a card so they can go everywhere?
You can give them a choice without cratering the VA system. And I think there are some great things, great facilities, great doctors that the VA does. So giving a private choice does not mean you privatize and shut down the whole system. It's a simple choice. Veterans should have it.
Let's see what he does. All right.
You got it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Pete.
All right, next up on Fox and Friends, a Fox and Friends favorite is getting into the Christmas spirit. Singer Steve Amerson is going to join us live with one of our favorite Christmas songs. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning. We can't wait to hear it. But first, let's check in with Bill Hemmer to find out what's coming up at the top of the hour.
Don't want to hear me sing, guys. Good morning to all of you. Senator Bob Corker, Senator Rand Paul. What can America expect in the first 100 days? We'll talk about all that. In this Russian allegation, what do Democrats want before the inauguration? We will do a deep dive on what you need to know. Martha and I will see you in 10 minutes. Top of the hour right here.
There is no better way to celebrate Christmas than by celebrating the reason for the season, and that is Jesus Christ.
And here to help us do that is a beautiful song. Our friend Steve Amerson, what are you going to sing?
Where else would a lamb be born?
We're going to get out of your way. There you go. Steve Amerson.
No proper place, no regal palace to receive